Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today the League of Ordinary Gentlemen proudly bring to you the Fantasy Football 5. Introducing Coach Jake Ruth.
Hello, you play to win the game.
Boss of the Wall, Brian Roberts.
Balls to the wall.
Oh yeah.
How big an old boy are you?
The Magic Man, Ryan Robertson.
I got a new nickname, the Magic Man. Now you seen me? Now you don't.
And JT the Commish.
Evening, Commissioner.
On September 3rd, year 2022, 10 men came together on Old Cedar Falls Road for one goal.
11 men. The general manager was there.
The general manager there. 11 men came together on Old Cedar Falls Road for one goal. You know what that was, Jake?
To get fucked up.
No.
That was like two or three.
Two houses down from that house, though.
On September 3rd, the year 2022, 11 men came together on Old Cedar Falls Road with one goal in mind: to win a fantasy football championship.
Got hosed.
How many of them
Got cheated.
failed?
10 of them failed.
Whoa.
Not well.
We don't know.
General manager.
At least 8.
How many
9 of them failed.
succeeded?
One of them succeeded.
Again, debatable.
And
Joe was gonna go
with our first objective, in our first segment of our Fantasy Football Podcast, we will reveal to our listeners the one man that was successful. So,
Go ahead.
our Fantasy Football Championship review. We had the team with no name, Jordon Powell.
Oh, we doing that thing again?
Because that's her name. The man will let her sleep under the roof tonight.
A girl has no name.
I can help you, Gigi. How about this one? These nuts? Got it!
The gingerbread man getting excited because
He got excited, okay.
It's the gingerbread cookie, and then the baker, whatever.
Okay.
The muffin man makes him a girlfriend.
Okay.
Versus the Scorpion, King Andrew Speary.
5,000 years ago, a fierce warrior known as the Scorpion.
Fantastic. So we had the Scorpion King with the original projection of a 117.2. We had the team with no name with an original projection of 132.05. The final with a little kind of a small little asterisk beside of it. Yeah.
Small.
Asterisks usually are small. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
With a small asterisk beside it, the final 157.82 to 82.6 in favor of the Scorpion King. So, boys, let's just go ahead and put it all out there.
Put that away.
Jake, get that off the table.
I just cut the zip tie.
Just to go ahead and get it all
Which
out
leg
there.
we go with? Left or right?
It's left today. It's warmer.
Just to go ahead and get it all out there. There is
He's still
some
unraveling.
There is some controversy to the final score. But with our score being so lopsided, it really doesn't affect our league too much. But just to review real quick for those that hadn't paid any attention to football over the past week. The game on Monday night against Cincinnati and Buffalo was paused in the first quarter and will not be resumed.
Wow. I just leave this on the screen the entire time.
There was an unfortunate accident
Involving?
involving T. Higgins. And
You don't even know the other dude's name.
DeMar Hamlin. I do know. I didn't know his name beforehand. I'll be honest with you. I didn't. I mean,
Vroom, vroom. Dean Hamlin, DeMar Hamlin. That's all I can
okay.
do.
Obviously, again, there was an unfortunate injury. Seems like Hamlin is doing okay, but the
Are
game.
there any fortunate injuries?
Yes.
You hear that? Can you name any?
Oh, plenty, but it would probably get us banned on YouTube.
Okay.
All three of our teams
Okay.
really
Now I see where you're going.
Yeah.
I thought like
I've got a reason when that really cost us all our jobs.
I thought it was like, man, I broke my ankle and I couldn't drive, and then there was a 52-car pile up on the highway, and I was going to drive. And
52 card pile. Is that any 52 card pickup?
it's
You just going on
similar.
that?
It's similar. But so both teams were affected by the Yahoo just has. Okay, I don't know. Okay.
No, we're
Okay.
But what happened? Why did the Monday night game not finish? Last one. That was the last one.
sure.
Okay.
You might
So
have-
Yahoo, the way they did it is they just awarded the points as is.
They just said the
before-
players were on bye.
Yeah, they just put the players in on bye. So both teams were affected. Scorp had James Cook go, and Jordon had Joe Burrow go. But again, with the game not being resumed, it just has Yahoo, both players on bye.
But with them being on bye, did they actually get the points that they played in the first 5 minutes of the game or whatever before it's canceled? Or did they take those away?
Burrow had 8. Is it still there?
No,
There
it
is
just
nothing.
says
There's
on dash.
okay,
It says they put them on bye.
Yeah, he had 8 whenever the game stopped.
Yeah.
He was going for 75 plus.
He
How many did he have to get?
We don't know.
75. Yeah, he had to get 75.2.
3. Whatever.
But also he had James Cook on the other side. The
Yeah,
better
but he
Cook
wasn't
brother.
playing. He was
They're both on bye.
y'all fuckers better not give me dead air today.
Oh no. Anyways, so let's review the matchup as it stands on our screens.
Mike Evans.
Well,
That's what we just reviewed.
okay, all right, there you go. Yeah, Mike Evans scores 48.7 points, almost 50. That is the highest score in the entire matchup. Then Scorp had some other big games. Pat Mahomes with 31, Brandon Ayuk with 22. The only two players that scored in single digits, obviously, were not. But
The lesser Cook brother.
Dalvin.
Yes.
Dalvin with 5.4, and then Drake London with 7.2.
Yeah.
But that 48 spot really carries you.
Yes.
And Scorp had picked Dalvin to be the number 1 running back down the line.
He did.
You picked Mike Evans to break out of.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Mike Evans
he
was going to
said,
have
what, 83
I said at
yards
least
and a touchdown.
83 yards and a touchdown. At least.
Accomplished.
Yeah, he did. He accomplished that in like the first quarter.
Actually, only one pass.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. And the only reason I even made that bold prediction was because, again, he was 83 yards away from a 1,000-yard season. 9 straight. And, yeah, they were playing Carolina with Josh Norman.
With doo-doo
He
corners.
didn't have Josh Norman.
He was out in the field.
Yeah, it was.
Not much. Not hardly at all.
You know who shouldn't have been
Not
on the
hardly
field?
at all.
Henderson.
Yeah,
Because I saw the back of his jersey a lot watching that game.
Yeah, he got-
Following Mr. Evans around.
Who did they have on Evans?
Henderson.
No, there was another one.
Well, they really didn't have anybody on.
They really did.
King? Is his last name King? I don't know. He was watching it.
Yeah, it's like, from a distance.
Oh, God, there's a perfect thing I could bring up right now, but it would probably get us banned too.
Okay. Well, let's not say. Scorp also had. Oh man. Scorp also had Pat Mahomes being the number 1 quarterback down the stretch. We'd have to check it, but that's
Now, I didn't know what he meant down the stretch. Was that just like in the fantasy playoffs?
yeah. Mhm.
That's what it
And he
was.
put up 36, 27, 31. So
Only
That's
she's
why I
5'3".
that's going to be tough to beat. So he might have been right on that bold prediction. He also is Pat Mahomes, the number 1 fantasy
one's overall,
player
yeah.
overall, which again does include quarterbacks.
Yeah, he finished our fantasy season as number 1.
Yeah, with the most
Who was
fantasy
that?
points. Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, yeah. Good year.
Yeah,
Good year.
Great year.
Good year.
Yes, yes,
One of the best.
indeed.
Again, Brandon Ayuk with 22, 101 receiving yards, 9 receptions, and a touchdown. Did he get that on a gadget play?
No, he didn't. He got it from Brock Purdy, which third-string quarterback. I
Got
think,
it
gadget.
from Brock Purdy.
He went to Iowa State.
Yeah, JT knows a lot about college football now.
You learning?
Yeah, you hear that?
Mm.
You hear that, Ruth?
Where did
Yeah.
Drake London go to school?
Drake London.
Over 7. Taking the over.
Drake London.
Taking the over.
Drake London.
He's got 7 guesses, and I'm taking
I
the
get
over.
7 guesses.
Go get 7. We ain't got that much time.
Hurry
Give me
up,
4.
go.
Ohio State.
No. Stay big school.
Go.
LSU.
First
No.
wide
No more
receiver
hints.
taken in the
No
draft.
more hints.
Says the guy who gives hints all the daggum
Yeah,
time.
but I
Michigan.
took over the
No.
7. I took over
Damn
the
it.
7. 3.
Alabama.
No.
4.
Damn it. Another big. Georgia.
No.
Five. Go.
You got 2 left.
Damn it.
That was George Pickens that went to Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Keep
I got
going.
him
Keep
confused.
going.
Okay.
Spitballs.
Okay, chill. Just give me a second. Jeez, dude.
You get 7 guesses.
I know, and I'm already
already
on
wasted
guess
5.
6.
Half the SEC is gone.
Those are SEC schools? Texas.
No.
Oh, my God.
Got one more.
Gotta come in clutch. Drake London.
Stay out of the SEC.
Drake
Stay away.
London.
Sound it out. Use.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Damn, that Drake London.
What are you doing?
Okay. Drake London went to
Come on. Final guess.
Oklahoma.
Southern California.
Damn it!
Yes.
Damn it! All right. Well, anyways, he only had 5 receptions, 47 yards. So who cares where he went to college?
I tell you where he didn't go. To the fucking field to play that day.
Hey, there you
It was
go.
one of his better games on the year because Mariota didn't play because Mariota only threw the ball like 8 times a game.
Seriously. Mike Evans, we just talked about him. He had 10 receptions, 207 yards in bonus point territory. Also had 3 touchdowns.
He had more touchdowns in that game than he had all season leading up to it, right?
Yes.
Something
We
like
said
that.
2 before the pod. I thought that
I
was.
can double check. He actually had 3 coming into the game.
All right, so he.
So he doubled.
He equaled his stuff.
He doubled.
Also went over 1,000 for the season.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to know what he's at now? 11-24.
That's a good year.
I mean,
With
yeah.
one game to play, if he plays it.
My bold prediction says he doesn't.
That is.
Really?
Yeah, I said that they would sit because
His bold prediction was 83, at least
Okay,
83 yards, a touchdown, and that he wouldn't play week 18.
went bold, son. Dalvin Cook,
Oh,
2
wow.
receptions, 27 rush yards, 17 receiving yards, 5.4.
They got waxed.
They did get
Yeah.
waxed.
I think they gave up a defensive touchdown and a special teams touchdown.
No
Let's go.
bueno. No bueno. George Kittle, touchdown, 4 receptions, 23 yards. Tyler Algier.
Baller.
Yeah, he ended up playing pretty well. 83 yards, touchdown. And New York Giants defense came to play with a touchdown themselves.
Indy sucks.
And he does suck. So that brings Scorpion Kings total to 157 for Jordano.
He started a quarterback on bye. Stupid. That's the most important position.
His receivers really let him down.
Receivers really.
Losing D Hop after the pod because we had talked about what
Yeah.
if he had lost D Hop.
He lost D-Hop before.
If Taylor Heineke would have started that game,
Does it change the outcome of this?
he
No.
started 3 Washington players, and their offense was non-existent that entire game.
Yeah, he has 3. Yeah, right.
He had 3
has
Washington
3
players.
Washington
I mean,
players. And
I don't
they
think he'd have reached Scorp, but he would have probably got.
It's like the whole year that hasn't bit him, and then the most important week it bit him.
Yeah, they had a combined like 13, 14 points for him
Out of 3 players.
out of
That's
3 players, and
pretty
yeah,
good.
it's just you ain't gonna win.
Especially
that
when
way.
you don't have a quarterback.
Yes,
You know?
yes,
His
yes,
fantasy
yes.
team didn't. His regular team didn't.
Yes, high scoring receiver was Jalen Waddle with 6.7. Again, I feel
Waddle.
like if to win a championship again, you need big points coming from receivers. So I feel like that they have the highest ceiling.
He had a player go for 30, and he didn't break 90.
Which again, that's
He
without
started a quarterback on bye, but still.
Yeah, Austin Eckler with 30. We said this earlier. Austin Eckler finishes the season as
The number one flex player.
number one flex player, so non-quarterback player. Josh Jacobs with 17.5. You know, both those players lead Jordan's team. Everybody else in single digits.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
I was way off on the Robinson call. I thought he was going to have a bigger game with. Help me out real quick.
Carson Wentz.
No. Gibson.
Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, I thought that was an opportunity for him.
But yet again, if your quarterback turns the ball over, it's a drop killer. It's a turnover.
So it does suck because it feels like the season kind of ends on a little bit sour note.
I do want to point out one positive, though. We've been bashing Mark Andrews a lot lately, and Jordan finally takes him out of his lineup, and he goes for double digits on his bench.
Let's see what.
Yeah, let's check the benches.
Damn, they look ugly.
They are shopping.
So yeah, Mark Andrews only double-digit score on the team with no names bench. Mark
for
Andrews.
100.
Yep, 9 for 100 yards. 14.5. Had Zach Moss 7.4. Josh Kelly 5.1. Greg Dortch 3.5. And then moving on to the Scorpion King side of the ball.
If he had started.
Yeah, I mean,
running backs.
he could have
especially where that
broke
Moss
200.
bye was. It would have been a really good game.
Yeah, Jamal Williams 22. He had KJ Osborne, who you were big on a couple weeks ago. With
drafted
15.
I'm big on KJ going in next year.
Patterson was
I drafted
Yeah.
KJ Osborne my last pick of the draft.
Hey,
We'll
well,
drop him
cheers
week
to
1.
you.
Here.
Here.
Oh, don't cheers. Whatever. You don't like KJ Osborne.
Yeah, fuck you, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that, Funky Cat.
So I will say this: Jordan went into the fantasy playoffs as being the number one highest scoring.
Yeah.
He was not the number one
Respect
seed.
him. There you
You
go.
were the number one seed, Mr. Robertson.
Should have been.
But Jordan did come into the playoffs with the most points scored. I think Scorp coming into the playoffs had the second least amount of points scored.
I think he might have been the lowest in the playoffs, or if not, second lowest.
We can double check. I'm gonna double check right now.
Looking it up.
So let's see. Jordan had. Yeah, so Jordan was first with 1906. Scorp was. Yeah. He had 1526, which was the second least. But as we've said before, gentlemen,
Don't matter. Just got to make playoffs, man.
just got to make the playoffs. And if you get hot at the right time,
So hot right now.
you can find your
Somebody
way.
predicted it.
You did. I'll give it to you. I do. Yeah, I want to give you props on that.
Here we go.
Because first week of the fantasy playoffs, you said watch out for Jake and watch out for Scorp.
Yeah.
You missed one.
I did.
And
Now, when he said watch out for Jake, he said Jonathan Taylor.
I did. I said
He
if
got
Jonathan Taylor
Taylor
can have some resemblance of the old Jonathan Taylor, Jake's got a
and he
shot.
hurt his ankle on the
Yeah.
yeah.
Second play of the game.
Man, fuck this league. We're
Yeah,
not-
I'm done.
But yeah, you said
Jake
that
doesn't deserve me.
you thought Scorp had a good shot at winning it, and
I thought Scorp had the scariest team going in.
well, I mean, it proved you were correct.
Brian is good at picking people in 2022-2023 season.
That's his thing. That's his thing.
Don't expect this shit next year. When we do the first podcast for week one, and I say, Ryan's going to beat Jake, Ryan better not get excited because Jake's probably going to win that matchup.
You're damn right.
I'm gonna make sure y'all
The
play
magic
each
will run out. But I enjoyed the run while I had it.
other. Did a great job.
Then I'll just be the man.
No, I'm not the magic man. I just had magic.
Do you believe in it?
He had the magic in him.
JT, please move on so we can stop talking.
Okay.
I had to word it in the chamber. Before we move any further,
Okay.
with my shenanigans and all, wee little shenanigans. I know, I saw you. I am happy Damar Hamlin's doing better.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
To the breathing tube out, he's talking, he's on his own.
So you just abandoned it?
90%. Just, all right, Bo. Get out of here.
Just another
Waking us up, we got a game to play.
another.
I would have
okay,
put
I
that
really
on
got it.
here, but
You saw what I seen that.
oh yeah.
Okay.
I
You
really.
should have seen the shit I seen.
Oh, dude, he was sending me stuff all
Were you
night.
clothed?
Huh? That was later on.
And was she around?
Don't bust
No, it is good. It's good.
We'll be right back.
I mean, that's a crazy injury. I watched that video 14, 15 times.
Yeah.
I've seen, I mean, Derwin James's hit the week before,
I've yet to see the play.
10 times harder. You haven't seen the DeMar Hamlin play?
Yeah, no.
I mean, T. Higgins, his shoulder went like right
I mean, it was a
here.
normal run after the
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah,
it wasn't
it was.
like it was a violent drop.
Now,
into
everybody's saying he was adjusting his helmet. That's not what was going on.
The fact that I
Like,
keep hearing
his-
people talking about
everything was
electricity
stopping.
and getting struck by lightning and all
Yeah.
this kind of stuff, it's just that's above my pay grade. I don't understand. I don't understand. They're talking about like the way that the electrical currents in the body go into the heart. It's just, I was like, I don't.
Yeah, there is. I mean, that's why the paddles were used.
Yeah, that's what
But
I'm
I
saying.
mean, we
don't
were
understand how
talking,
that logic,
and
the hit,
for like 20 minutes, the only thing anybody knew was they were doing CPR for 9 minutes. When you do CPR for 9 minutes, I mean, usually after 4,
They talk
at
about brain
most,
damage
like
after a certain
your
amount of
ribs
time.
or your chest is
I
crushed.
think it is the 10-minute mark with no.
No oxygen going
Yeah,
to
to
his
brain.
brain damage. Yeah,
So he's lucky. He's very, very lucky.
it's like when they put
So
Sam
we'll get back to
Redeem
him.
when they put him under and he went and talked to Death. And he had to resuscitate him back, and you thought that Death was the guy that played Freddy Krueger. Do y'all remember that in Supernatural?
Robert
Back in the
Englund.
day? Robert Englund, yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was another guy.
Ah,
But yeah.
Drats.
But that's yeah. I think it's 10
He's
minutes.
in
brain damage.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Robert England?
No, you said Drax.
I said Drats.
He said Drats.
Oh.
Yeah, front row.
So congratulations goes to Andrew Spear, the Scorpion King. Finishes off the regular season as the 4th seed, and again gets hot at the right time and comes away.
So hot right now.
Comes away with a fantasy championship, his second in the past. Trying to think how long he's been in the league.
7 years.
Past 16 years.
Nah, he's been in the league longer than that. 10, 11, something like that.
If you go based on history, either you or I win it next year. And if you win it, you go back to back.
That's only happened once.
That's history.
Wow, okay. Sure.
Elaborate.
Later on.
So here's the current standings when it comes to fantasy football championships. So we have three.
Fair enough.
We have three at this table: Jake, Ryan, myself. All tied at the top with 3 fantasy championships.
Some of us have been on 3 for a while. Jake.
This guy. We now have 3 two-time winners: Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Michael.
Michael,
Yes. He's not.
and
Scorp.
now Scorp.
Yes.
And then we have one
And then we have Ransdale.
We have
He's got a
Ransdale.
1. And then everybody else is.
Rest of y'all pick your crap up.
Tyler's 0 for 1.
Jordan finally broke.
Yeah,
He
this
broke
first-
through that glass ceiling.
Yes.
But that's the thing about Jordan's team. Like,
Every year.
We talked so much shit about Jordan all year, but he was Mr. Consistent.
he was, and I feel like he always has like a top 3 team.
He does.
And then again, you get to the playoffs, it's just something unfortunate happens, and he gets
Who do you
eliminated.
think's won the most regular seasons? Who's finished first? But he's got to be right behind you.
He really might.
Well, I just think because I've been in the league longer.
Yeah, and then he did that whole collusion thing. Oh
Ryan-
shit, you did it too. That's how you lost your
The number
position.
1 quarterback.
We're not going back down that road.
Matt Schaub threw for 5,000 yards that year.
Which one are we talking about?
He fucked me over.
Yeah, Brady.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when Andrew,
And I had
when
Stanford all year
Ransdale,
and Stanford.
when Ransdale dropped Jamal Charles and told Ryan to pick him up. It was like a back-to-back thing.
He dropped him. I picked him up. I don't know what you want me to say. That
We
guy
should
was
do
on
a
free agency.
history podcast.
We really should. The baseball thing is
The
where
baseball
Ryan-
thing, that was I admitted to that.
That's the
happened.
real
Yeah.
collusion. When Ryan, I can't remember what it was. It was against
I talked
you.
about the clean sweep.
Jake was bragging before the fantasy. It was not over yet, and he kept bragging about it. So screw this. Well, it's already over, so I might as well just do this. And I just added like 3 pitchers right there at the end.
Cheating.
He
And I did
missed it.
You
That was
Yes.
terrible.
What was that? Still the table?
All right, so let's move on to pick updates. So we got a lot of good stuff in store for you gentlemen this afternoon.
Do we?
Yeah.
We've been going
I
for
feel
a
like
while.
that's the
They're-
best
they're all
of it.
questioning
We
why we're
got
still listening.
look, we got pick updates. We've got our bowl predictions from last week. We got our season-long bowl predictions.
Percentage.
Yeah, well, and percentage.
And,
Yeah. We've got our NFL dark horse teams that we called before week 1.
Yes.
And we also have some fantasy superlatives to give out.
Yes.
And just a little season
A
recap.
little banter.
A little banter.
Banter.
Towards the end.
He did a banter.
So how we do on picks, Ryan?
Picks for the final week. We had Brian,
Yes.
correct. Michael, correct. JT, correct. Ryan, correct. Jake's stupid, incorrect.
That's all right, man.
But for the season,
Asterisk. I'm saying that wasn't really against me.
Yeah,
I don't
that-
think
we
can pick
don't
so
know.
he finishes 500.
we don't know. I didn't finish below either way. But 5th place for the season at 39-38. Ryan.
I really wanted him
This
to
guy.
finish under.
4th place, not too far ahead, 45-32. JT.
I'm only 10 games behind the winner.
Tied for 2nd at 47-30. Jake and Michael.
Those are nice.
Yes, stick together. And in 1st place, going away,
Let it wash over you, boys.
55-22.
Hell of a season. Hell of a season.
The big guy.
Hey, congratulations!
It's an all-time record, right?
All-time record. Beat JT by a game.
That's going to be a tough one to beat, boys.
That is, hey, with a
You said
winning
that last year?
I did. With a winning percentage of 71%.
Golly,
Good
dude.
Lord, you could have.
If you were in Vegas, you would have been cleaning house right
Can
Let's
you
not bring that
gamble on fantasy? I don't know how. Who's
The whole fantasy thing is gambling.
No, I'm talking about our league. Do you think we could get a bookmaker?
now. Yeah, you could.
You would.
A lot of people have been doing it.
You would probably be the bookmaker.
That's fair.
You're also a deacon at your church, so I don't know how.
I probably would. I wouldn't do it, but
I don't know how this is going to go.
We'll talk about this.
All right. Yeah.
So how we do it in bowl predictions week 17?
Bowl predictions for the championship. Let's go. All right, Brian 0 for 0.
Consistency is key,
Yes.
boys.
Jake 0 for 6. Yep. JT 3 for 12. Possibly 4 for 12.
What'd I get right?
The one you got right, Brandon Ayuk scores a touchdown.
Hey.
Correct. Jalen Waddle under 8.
Hey.
He was at 6.7. Mike Evans scores a touchdown, 83 yards, doesn't play week 18, to be
To
determined.
be determined.
But probably wrong.
Yeah.
And then Jamal Williams scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
And he did.
He had 2, didn't
He had 3, possibly 4. Michael, 1 for 7.
Just let it go.
I don't know if he scored 2 touchdowns. He had like 122 yards.
Yeah, go ahead.
Michael, 1 for 7.
Okay, well, the one he got right was?
Mike Evans scores a touchdown. He
Okay.
scored 3 of them.
I know, but I mean,
And then Ryan, 4 for 9.
Damn!
DeAndre Hopkins scores single digits. He didn't score any.
Yeah, well, hey, there you go.
Mike Evans scores a touchdown. He had 3 of them. I said Jahan Dotson would outscore McLaurin with Wentz in there. You had Dotson at 5.2. McLaurin had 4.7. And I said Eckler would play less than 50% of the snaps, and he played 44. But he dominated those 44%.
Golly, yeah, he did. He put up 30 points with 44% of the snap.
Dude, he was lighting it up. I think he only had 10 carries, but he scored.
Okay, well, hey, congratulations.
And then I
on
had James Cook would outscore Rashad White, but that one was voided.
Void. Null and void.
Nolan void. And then Jordan went 0 for 1. He said Pat Mahomes would score 40 plus, and he scored 31.
Yeah, not too far off.
Not too bad.
All right,
Now,
so
on the season.
Season-long bowl predictions. How did we do? Or this isn't season-long. Well, no, this is
It's not season-long bowl predictions, but it's the percentage of the bowl predictions that we made
by
through
week.
weekly.
Yeah.
All right, so in 5th place, Michael, 6 for 42. And that puts him at a 0.143%.
0.143. Ooh.
Not 1.3, 0.143 average.
Yeah.
If we're doing
So like
baseball.
14%.
Yeah, 14.2%. In 4th place, Brian Roberts, 10 for 53,
I mean, I'll take that.
which is an 18.9%.
Damn sure I can do it.
In 3rd place, JT with a whopping 114. He went 24 for 114 for a 21.1%. Jake, 23 for 108 in 2nd place, hitting a 21.3%. And in 1st place, Ryan at 22 for 101 with a 21.8. So
barely.
We know he finagles
the
some
top
of
3
these.
were all around 21, 22.
Now, hold on. If I get this Mike Evans one right.
It'll put you 24 for 115. What's that?
Enough to beat
Do
you.
me in.
24 divided by 115
Yep.
says 0.208, so 21%.
Oh, it's 25 for 115. My bad.
Now check it. Now check it. Now check it.
So 25 divided by what?
115.
115? Okay.
21.7.
So you finished 2nd.
Damn
You
it.
passed Jake.
Damn it.
But I don't know why Mike Evans would sit out week 18. I just don't understand the logic behind it.
Because they wrapped out the division. They need to be healthy going into the playoffs.
What else has he
But
got?
I
He's got his bonus.
Yeah, he's got his bonus.
Brady hates sitting out. So
I know.
If Brady doesn't sit out and you
Like, I was trying to go bold, right?
I know. I do. I ain't mad at you.
That's why it's called bold prediction.
Some days I am.
I mean,
So so now we're going to review our season-long bowl predictions. So these were predictions that we made
I
prior to
question
week
this.
1 that we believed would,
Yeah.
transpire throughout the course
Oh,
of the NFL regular season.
now we're gonna have to do this on the. I didn't do that, so we're gonna have to do it on the show. So first, Brian said Tom Brady falls off a cliff. Where did he finish?
Outside top 10.
Outside the top 10.
Whoa, hold on. I'm jumping ahead.
Why don't y'all look up where he finished this year?
Okay.
I'm on quarterbacks, and somebody else
Go
look up
ahead
where
and
he
get the
finished
two
last
shitty
year.
ones out of the way.
Oh, Brian said Panthers will win the Super Bowl. Not likely, not making the playoffs. And the other one was Baker Mayfield has a better season than Tom Brady.
That one.
Hey,
I don't think that happened either.
That
So
definitely
1,
didn't
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brady finished 11th.
And where did he finish last year?
4th, 3rd, something like that, I think.
happen.
I
Let me see if I can check.
No, it's on here.
I mean, we can all say that Brady didn't have the season we thought he was going to have. So I would say
well,
we give
not
Brian
right.
one
He
for
finished
three.
second
last year.
Second.
Okay, yeah, so one for three.
I'll give
that
that.
man was on.
I'll give that to you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a GOAT.
Yes. Yes. Indeed.
Now, Jake made one bold prediction. Says Aaron Rodgers is not a top 10 fantasy quarterback.
He's not.
That is,
He's
he
not.
was like,
It's like 14th.
I don't know.
sorry.
Let's see. If Brady was 14th, yeah.
14. All right. Boy, Jake, 1 for 1, 100%.
We even know it's Tuesday.
JT, he made 3. DJ Moore is a top 3 wide receiver.
Let's check it. Let's check it.
Look it up. On his team, in the league, I don't know.
Okay. Let's see. Devontae Adams was 3. DJ Moore, 1, 2, 3. Hold on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
If you have to go to
19,
next
20.
page.
20!
20, all right, top 20.
That's not what I said.
You could say if he's a wide receiver 3, we got 10 people in the league. That's 30, top 30 wide receiver.
All right. What was the next one?
Kadarius Toney, top 15 wide receiver. Let's check that one.
21, 22, 23, 25. Next 25. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 36. Okay, is he on this page?
He's not.
No,
Probably
okay.
not.
Next, okay, so he didn't make the top 50. Is he on top 75?
So we're going to say no?
We gotta
Hold
make
on,
sure.
okay, he's not top 75.
He did have one good week for me. So
Did he outscore Equanimous St. Brown? I don't
Probably
think so.
not. St. Brown for
Okay.
the Bears.
So he's not top 100.
Are we doing just wide receivers? Or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're on page 4.
Oh, okay. All right, so he finished 101, 102. Ray McLeod III finished.
Man, y'all
Is he still with the
underestimate Ray.
49ers?
Yeah.
Okay.
102, 103, 104, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 115.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean,
I was only, if you would have given me 100 spots, still wouldn't have got it right.
All right. What about this one?
Okay.
JT's last one. Kyle Pitts, tight end 1.
Oh, don't even. We
Let
ain't
me
got
check.
time.
Let me check.
Okay, you ain't got time.
All right. He didn't. He wasn't.
Damn it.
All right. So now we're on to Michael. JT 0 for 3. You're stupid.
drops your bold predictions down.
That wasn't weekly.
Okay, he didn't finish top 25.
Jake, you've won season-long bold prediction because you went 1 for 1, so you're 100%. I've already written a couple over here to say wrong for mine and Michael's.
29. Okay.
Tight end 29.
Yeah.
Off of one game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Michael said, my boy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, top 16 running back.
No.
Was he?
No.
He wasn't even top 3 on the Chiefs.
I'm not looking at that one.
No.
All right.
No.
Dalton Schultz, tight end number 1. Was he?
No. Kelsey.
Was he better than Kyle Pitts?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. I could have done
All
better.
right, Michael. Trey Lance is the fantasy and league MVP. Probably not. He played like a game.
Who's this?
Trey Lance.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That was close.
Well.
And then he said Justin Jefferson is the top flex player, which we just said was
Close.
Austin Eckler.
It was
He finished
second.
second.
No, excuse me. That's not correct.
Wasn't Eckler first and Jacobs second?
Yeah, that's right.
Jacobs was second.
Okay. Jefferson was the top receiver.
He was third.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough. But didn't he get drafted number 2?
Yeah, he got 2 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. By somebody wearing his jersey?
Yeah.
What an idiot. All right. And then Ryan said Jameis Winston is a top 7 quarterback. Good Lord.
When's the last time he played?
Like week 3, he hurt his back, and then he's been a healthy but not healthy enough. He was healthy enough to be a backup, but not healthy enough to start, is what Dennis Allen came out and said.
That's not a good sign.
So he just and as bad as Andy Dalton was playing, the fact that he didn't get replaced, I mean, something was going on. Tyreek Hill's not a top 7 wide receiver.
Who said that?
I did.
Ryan.
Oh, these are all mine. These are all bad.
Yeah, that's wrong.
He finished what? Wide receiver 2 or 3?
Wide receiver 2.
Wide
No,
receiver
yeah, 2.
Receiver
excuse
2.
me.
What about Kelsey?
Not a receiver.
That was
Matter.
that was our pre.
Oh, okay.
pre-
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and then Lamar
That's
Jackson
what
wins the
I'm
MVP, and Jalen Hurts finished second.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts might win it.
Jalen Hurts might finish second in
Who do
MVP
you-
voting. Is probably Pat
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
It's probably
Probably is Mahomes.
I don't think it's Allen anymore.
I don't think it is.
It hadn't been Allen since he hurt his elbow.
I think it is
basically.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
I think it's Mahomes with probably Hurts still putting an argument at 2.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, if you're doing MVP, like Jalen Hurts, they only lost 1 game while he was playing.
Yeah.
Since he's been out, they've lost 2 or 3.
Mhm.
But Lamar Jackson's definitely not winning
No,
MVP. so-
Lamar Jackson's not winning.
And then Mike Williams, top 5 receiver. I just don't know why you put injuries on players on your
Team?
All
I
right.
don't know.
No, on my bold predictions, I had Jameis Winston and Mike Williams and Lamar Jackson. One of them goes poopsie during games, and then the other ones get hurt. So I went 0 for 4 for a 0%. Michael 0%. JT 0%. Brian 33%.
I'll take it.
Jake 100%.
Yeah, congratulations.
Finally did something right
Well
this
done,
season,
boys. Well done,
boys.
boys. All right, what we got next, boss?
We got NFL Dark Horse team. So again, beginning of the season, week 1, pre-week 1, we all picked a team that was kind of outside looking in that we thought could maybe make pretty good progress and maybe just maybe sneak into the playoffs. So we had Ryan picking the
Patriots.
New England Patriots. So this is the playoff picture right now. So the Patriots, they are in the hunt.
Yes.
8-8. They need. I think they just need to win, and Jacksonville and Miami lose.
Okay.
Because they were projected to finish third in that division.
Let's see. NFL
The
playoffs.
current chances are at 33%. They need Miami to lose and them to win.
Okay.
What about Jacksonville?
Now Miami.
Jacksonville's in. Where is that?
Florida.
No, I meant like on this one.
AFC South.
You're looking at Florida.
So they win, and because they're playing for the division.
Jacksonville's winning
Yes.
in.
Oh, that's
So
right. You're right.
Them
You're
and
right.
Tennessee,
Yeah, yeah.
whoever wins that one's in.
Yeah, whoever
And
wins
if
that
they-
wins their
But
division.
if Jacksonville still wants to make it, if they lose, I think they need a Miami and Patriot loss.
So Jacksonville clinches
I
the
think
playoff berth with a Miami loss, plus a New England loss, plus a Pittsburgh loss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if they lose, they're under 500, right?
If-
Jacksonville 8-8?
Yeah, Jacksonville is 8-8. You are correct.
yeah.
And then New England needs they need win or Miami loss, Pittsburgh loss, plus Jacksonville win.
Okay.
That's what they need. I'm looking at ESPN right now. Jake, your NFL dark horse team was
Jets.
the Jets.
Came out the gates.
Who do they think they are? The New York Jets?
So the Jets, they are officially eliminated from the playoff hunt, but Jets ended up
They had a
they're
chance.
7-9 right now. And again, they were kind of in the driver's seat there for a little bit. They started off with 7-2.
Yep.
If they wouldn't have ever put Zach Wilson back in and Brees Hall doesn't get hurt, Joe Flacco started off the season great. If they'd have just skipped over Zach Wilson and went straight to Mike White and Brees Hall would have stayed healthy, they'd probably
Yeah, Zach Wilson really threw their chances of making the playoffs. Just threw that all out.
But I mean, they hit home runs
Literally.
with Sauce Gardner
Yep.
and Brees Hall this year in the draft. And there was I think a defensive end or a linebacker. I can't remember who it was. That was pretty good too. But I mean, they did very well. They missed on their number 2 overall pick in the draft last year.
Yeah.
Number 2.
What's that? Number 2.
Yeah,
Who
but
is Dudu?
I'll say New York Jets. First half of the season they were kind of surprised team in football.
Yeah.
But that's a strong division right now with the Bills.
Yeah,
The
possibly. Yeah, I
and
mean
the
you
Patriots.
got 3 teams that are one's already in the playoffs, obviously, and
Yeah.
you got 2 right on the edge.
Right.
So, Brian, your dark horse team was
The Jags.
the Jags.
Jaguars.
We talked about them just a moment ago. Jags need clinch the AFC South with a win or a tie,
Yeah, they're a winner time.
and then clinches a playoff berth with again Miami loss, New England loss, plus Pittsburgh loss.
They can control their own destiny with a win. But
Yeah,
if they lose, they gotta have.
They need some help. I'll go to mine, then we'll go to Michael's. My NFL dark horse team was the Detroit Lions.
Love the Lions.
Detroit Lions.
They started off 1-6.
So they
No.
they got a
They've
real
won
chance
6
here.
straight.
Yeah,
They need
They are
a
a
win plus
win.
a Seattle loss.
they are a win against the Packers.
Win against the Packers, and then they
And
need
then a
Seattle to
Seattle
lose.
loss.
Seattle.
I think they're playing
Playing the
San
Rams.
Fran or Rams.
Rams.
Oh, that's right.
But who knows what Ram team?
Yeah, they
should
scored
be there.
51 2
I
weeks
bet.
ago.
I know.
So you don't know.
Got waxed by the
You
Chargers
don't know.
last
And
week.
it's not like Seattle's been.
Waxed.
Chargers.
But the Chargers played waxed.
And then Michael, his NFL dark horse team.
The Houston Texans.
Can
Houston
remain
Texans.
dark horse next year.
Good. They currently have the worst record in football, but
Again.
if Chicago loses,
So they're what? 1-15-1.
let's pull
Is
it
that
up.
they are 1-15-1?
NFL
They get a tie last year too.
I think so. They tied what, week 1 this year?
Yeah. At the gate
So the
tie.
Houston Texans are right this moment. They are. Scroll down.
Scrolling.
My computer's not scrolling. You just said something about my computer, and now it's not working.
Me?
User error.
Thanks, Ryan. Okay. The Texans are 2-13-1 with a winning percentage of .156.
Who's their other win against?
Who did they beat?
Because I think they beat.
Let's
They beat the
see.
Jags or somebody.
They beat
The Jets, didn't
the Titans
the Titans.
on Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
and they
They beat
beat.
somebody like week 2 or 3, didn't they? Was it early in the
They-
season?
Jags.
Oh,
What did the Jags?
yeah, it was the Jags
Okay.
on October 9th,
Yes.
and they tied the Colts. So there,
That was week 1.
which was that
Week
was
1,
September 11th,
Yeah.
2022.
Never forget.
Year of our Lord.
Yes.
Year of our Lord.
And then I picked the Pats, which we already said.
Yes.
We've covered that.
Yes.
I was just going down my list here.
Oh,
It's on the screen.
And then here,
I had
see,
you
look,
first.
Yeah.
look, here you see.
Hey, I
number
appreciate
one.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. First in our hearts.
Yes.
I'll be
Nah,
that time.
All right, so now we got something real special for you. We have our fantasy football 2022 fantasy superlatives. Okay, so I've got a list right here. We're just gonna go straight down it.
Sure.
Okay, we're just gonna throw some names out there.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby,
Missed.
and we're gonna see what sticks. So the first fantasy superlative we're giving out is probably the biggest award. Well, I'd say kind of the biggest is first and last.
Oh,
Kid with Heart Award.
Keep it hard. So the first fantasy superlative of the 2022 fantasy football season is fantasy MVP.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a tough one. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just throw out
Eckler.
That's who you're throwing out?
Yeah.
All right, Austin Eckler, the number one flex player in fantasy football. I'll throw out the number one overall. I'll throw out Patrick Mahomes.
So the league in touchdowns last 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'll throw out Travis Kelce because of the
Every
point
freaking year.
Yeah, because of the point difference between him to the next tight end.
He was my argument for fantasy MVP last
So
year.
just to argument's sakes, the Austin Eckler to Jacobs, the running back battle, was a 2-point separation. Then between wide receivers, Jefferson 303,
Joseph.
Tyreek,
It wasn't even Joseph, it was Joseph.
384, so that would put it at around 30.
Math.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, and then to tight end,
I got the difference. If you want to name them, I got the difference.
Kelce at 256 to TJ Hawkinson at 172.
So Travis Kelce outscored the number 2 tight end by 84.2 points.
It's not even close.
And then what about quarterback? I didn't see
Quarterback? Why can't I play quarterback?
I should have had popcorn.
So he won by 40 points.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mahomes over Allen.
Okay.
I feel like I made the same argument last year.
You got one you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I was with him on that.
You're with him on Eckler?
It was up there last year.
Yeah.
If I had to throw out another name, I'd say Jacobs.
Okay.
I'm going to use Jacobs for another argument.
Is it weird that we just listed 4 people and Jordan had 3 of them?
That goes to tell
When
you how
your
good his
team
team
is
was, man.
80% Washington, then you still make the championship.
You have to have the other guys.
You have to have those other guys.
Yeah. All right. So y'all two taking Eckler.
Who's y'all?
Boom, boom. They're
Me
taking
and
Eckler.
You took Pat, right?
Eckler has a chance to
I
have
nominate
back-to-back
Pat.
20 touchdown seasons.
Jake's kind of got me. That's a tough one.
Dude, I mean, Kelce is the cheat code for fantasy sports. And you can get him in the second round.
I think he's going first next year. I think he does.
I mean, he was 4th out of receivers this year.
I mean, I took him, I think, at 11, 2 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
About 20 points behind
I drafted him
Adams,
second
third wide
last year.
receiver.
Okay.
And you traded him to me.
Yes.
So Jake, who you taking? Fantasy MVP.
It's hard for me to not say Eckler because I did not put him as the RB1. I think a lot of people
I
had
thought
kind
the
of faded
touchdown
him going
numbers
into
were
the
going to fall off.
And even the start of the year, his first 3
He did score a
games,
touchdown the first 3 games.
Yeah, it was horrific. And he
Well, he had the yards, but it's like
well, I'm
we
talking about
drafted
fantasy
you for
production.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
I would say disappointing.
Well,
I mean, he's still
just to
my
go
favorite running
over, yeah, because he went 9, 13, 9, and then after that he didn't have another. No, he had one other single digit game.
back. I think he's got 18 touchdowns on the season.
Again?
13
20,
rushing
I think,
touchdowns. I don't know how many
I think he's
receiving.
got 5 or 6 receiving. So he's good.
So you taking Eckler?
No, I'm gonna go back to Travis.
He said, "Hey, Brian, Ryan,
82 points between that and the next one. And then, I mean, to make matters worse, I think he had the 3rd overall tight end because I think
Kittle might have passed Andrews. Maybe I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but he might have passed him.
Kittle
Kittle scored like
Mark Andrews
Is
3.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
about-
forgot about the good week.
yeah.
By .4.
Yep,
Yeah.
beat him up.
Since Purdy took over, Kittle's been scoring a lot of touchdowns. All right, what was the next one, boss man?
Well, so what would you?
Who'd you vote for?
Well, I think it's 2-1 to 1.
Oh, Eckler, Kelce.
I like
and
Jake's
Mahomes,
argument
or
on
did you
Travis
flop?
Kelce. I do really like Jake's argument on
God,
Travis
Jake's a
Kelce.
Chiefs fan. He went from Mahomes to Kelce.
I mean, because again, like
you went
82
from quarterback
points.
one to tight end one.
I mean, 80 what we say, 84 points. Excuse me, 84 points.
Now, what are
divided by 17? He's scored an additional 5 points over every tight end.
we consider Kelce pretty much a wide receiver, and if he was a wide receiver,
I consider him a tight
was
end.
he like a?
Boy, it'd be a good time for Andrew to be here.
Was he a top 5?
Yes,
just a
fourth.
pass catcher. I think he
He finished
finished
4th.
Okay.
He was 20 points.
Because if you draft Kelsey in the first or second round, you're drafting him as your wide receiver 1.
like
So I feel like we need to compare him a lot of times to wide receivers.
Travis Kelce in flex was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So the only 3 running backs that finished ahead of him were Eckler, Jacobs, and
McCaffrey, Henry.
And Henry. Okay.
So he had 4 running backs above him, and he had
3 wide receivers.
Jefferson, Tyreek, Adams.
Yeah. So, I mean, you basically, when you draft Kelsey, you're drafting Kelsey as your wide receiver 1, majority of the time.
104 receptions, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns.
Every season, the dude's just like, oh, he's going to fall off.
Yeah, I'm going Travis Kelce.
All right, so how do we break this top?
They share it.
Fantasy MVPs?
Yeah. AFC
I'm fine with
West
that.
domination,
I'm
is
fine
what
with
we're
that.
saying?
So, fantasy MVP, we have Austin Eckler sharing the title with Travis Kelce. Which, again, like I feel like that's pretty fair because both of them had a great season, and they offer you something completely different.
And Jordan had both of them.
And also, Austin Eckler only won the flex, number 1 flex by 1.6 points.
Over
1.4 points over Josh Jacobs.
Who was managed by?
Jordan. So Jordan had a squad.
Jordan got everything but $500.
All right, so we got co-fantasy MVPs. Now, switching it up, we went from...
I want to point out one more thing. We're talking about Jordan domination. Out of the flex players, Jordan had 3 out of the top 8.
Damn!
Homie?
Yeah, hit Eckler,
1, 2, and 8.
And yep. That's with a really good quarterback.
With a really good quarterback. I think
With
he was
really
the
good
4th
He
quarterback.
was quarterback 4. Well, he might have been up 3 because Hurts was 3.
And he didn't play.
And he didn't play the last couple of weeks, so Burrow's probably 3 now behind him.
Well, he had a bye last week.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Burrow had a bye, so that takes away one of the games that Hurts missed.
That does, so...
I think
can
it's
look
still
at
Burrow.
it. I'll look at it. Just to talk about Georgia's team for a second, because he did have a great season. Yeah, Burrow finishes 1.4 points behind Hurts.
Behind him? Okay.
But, again, they play that game. He obviously takes the number 3
And because we
spot.
don't know if that 8 points that Burrow scored
Yeah, we
last
don't,
week
so...
counted or not.
Yeah, I'd say he's QB.
If he went for 30 points in that game,
He'd have won.
he
He'd
would
have
have
been
finished
past
second.
Allen.
He would
Yeah,
have passed
QB2.
Allen.
Yeah.
Damn, he had a good team.
Mm-hmm.
He just had too many Washington guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it comes down to.
Well, and injuries.
And injuries. All right, so now switching it up, we went from the best fantasy player. So now we're going to go to the biggest bust of the 2022 fantasy football season. Biggest
Sam
bust.
Anderson Award.
This one's where things get tricky because again,
We could call this
like-
the Allen Robinson Award.
I feel like Najee would be a nominee, but I mean he had
came
a little
down-
surge there at the end. I mean earlier in the season, I felt like he was.
Kyle Pitts.
okay. Well, I guess we have to. We do have to talk about this. So,
Do players that got injured count?
but again, he wasn't having a good season before he got injured.
Kyle
so-
Pitts.
I mean, but like Javonte Williams. Like, I wouldn't throw Javonte Williams in that conversation because, again, he got hurt early in the season.
Same thing with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, like he got hurt.
Kyle Pitts.
All right, so we got one for Kyle Pitts.
I can nominate some off my team that I drafted. Chase, the running back from Miami, who was supposed to be the starter, and
Chase Edmonds?
Chase
Oh,
Edmonds.
yeah,
that was stupid.
Yeah, he's. I don't even know if he's in the league anymore.
Kyle Pitts.
I think he's a backup for the Broncos.
Yeah, but the fifth string.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
All right, we got one vote for Kyle Pitts.
One vote for Kyle Pitts.
That's the answer.
I mean,
That's
do you want
the
to throw
answer.
Allen? I know you brought Allen Robinson's name up. Do you want to throw him in there?
No, just because
5th round pick, first pick of round
I
5.
think we all
When
Thought
was
it,
Kyle
but we
Pitts
thought it-
drafted?
He was the 6th pick of round 4.
36 overall.
Kyle Pitts.
I'm gonna throw another name in there. Aaron Jones.
He
I'm
was
not gonna say
the
40.
9th pick of the 2nd round.
How many
And-
points did Kyle Pitts have this year?
Well, never mind. He finished like 10th in running backs.
Justin Herbert. Much as I love him, that dude he was supposed to be like the next.
Yeah, MVP.
All right, so
thing.
Justin Herbert
Brian,
was.
you drafted him. Did Justin Herbert have the season you thought he was going to have?
No.
Absolutely not. Okay.
So Justin Herbert. Let me
He
tell you
went
where.
44 overall.
In his defense, he spent half his season without his number 1, number 2 wide receiver.
Yes, and his left tackle.
Yes.
Why can't I find his name on the draft board?
44.
Did he even
Fourth
get
pick in
drafted?
round 5.
After
4th pick of round 5.
after Allen Robinson,
After Allen Robinson.
Yes.
You are correct.
and then Cam Akers is in that same one.
But he kind of came on down the
Yeah, I know,
stretch.
yes.
All right, put me down for Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts.
Got 2 for Kyle Pitts, 1 for Herbert. Jake, who'd you have?
CEH.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire was
So we got two
selected.
injured players and Justin Herbert.
Was selected. Clyde went
pretty
the
late.
10th pick of round 7.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which, I think he finished about where he should have.
All right, so 2 for Kyle Pitts. Jake.
I don't know, man.
Kyle Pitts.
He didn't want to.
I kind of like the argument Ryan was just
Everybody
making
loves Kyle Pitts.
for Herbert. Well, I mean, the only thing that hurts Kyle Pitts is that he did get hurt.
He got
I
hurt.
always try to look.
And
at
They
he
don't
plays
throw
for
the
Atlanta.
ball.
Yeah.
Healthy. He was not going to do shit.
All right. He
does
might have
not
still been a
do
top
shit.
10 tight end.
No, he
All right,
sucks.
sidebar.
He needs to switch over to the NBA.
If you are an NFL team
Okay. I'm thinking about this now.
that it wants to be run heavy, why do you draft a non-blocking, pass-catching tight end in the top 5 of the draft?
I don't know.
Because
If
it's
that is-
fun.
if that is your philosophy as a team that you want to be a run the ball, don't throw it, why do you draft him there?
Oh crap!
All
All
right.
right. So here's Ryan's argument for Kyle Pitts.
I was
On
pulling
tight,
this up.
I put in tight end average, so that way you could see when they did play what their average was.
Takes the
It was
injury out of
1,
the
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. He was the 23rd ranked tight
Yeah.
end.
I
As a
eliminate.
second
I
tight
eliminate.
Open
third
your
tight
eyes,
end-
gentlemen.
Third tight end taken off the board.
Open your
I
eyes.
can tell
I
you.
don't disagree with you. I just said
yeah,
I
Kelsey-
disregard
Kelsey and
Andrews.
I
all
get it.
injury play. I'm talking about I disregard injury players when I think of bust.
I
because
get
that's-
it, but Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
looking
he
at
was the
horse
3rd
sucks.
tight end taken.
Dude, you took him in the 4th.
Yeah. But I got the 5th tight end on my team. So
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like, but
Here.
you invested
None
a
of
lot
this is
in
me dogging you.
Yeah, I know.
I just fucking can't stand Kyle Pitts. I cannot stand Kyle Pitts.
Question for you: would you hate Kyle Pitts if we didn't talk about him?
Yeah, but I mean, it wouldn't be as adamant
Is it
about my
because he
hatred
went
towards him.
to Atlanta?
No. Like I was a big believer in Kyle Pitts when he was coming into the league.
Who's a bigger bust coming out of Florida 2 years ago?
Yeah,
Kyle
but
Pitts or Kadarius Toney?
Kyle Pitts.
he was
Okay.
4th overall. He was selected 4th overall.
If
answer
you're
is Kyle
asking me a
Pitts.
question about being terrible and Kyle Pitts is an option, it's Kyle Pitts.
The only reason I ask is Kadarius Toney went pretty high in the draft too, and he's already on a second team.
If Kyle Pitts
So a
goes
team's
to
already given
another
up on
team,
him.
he might end up being good. There's still a chance
But
Kyle
fourth
Pitts
overall.
could be good.
Oh, I know. I understand. I thought it was a stupid pick.
But
they
up
took
to
him.
this point, Kyle Pitts he's terrible. He's awful.
He needs to
sucks.
play more
He's
London
not
games.
draftable. I don't care if we're in the 13th round and he's still on the board. Do not draft him. Pick him up. He goes through week 3 and he's done good. You can pick him up then. But he's not draftable. Yes.
You hate us talking about Kyle Pitts on the podcast, and he's been hurt for like 2
Well,
months. and you're
I
not
mean,
even
every
talking
week
about
they
it.
say-
Again, we're doing it again. We're doing it again.
Kyle Pitts takes his
We're doing it again.
We're doing our bold prediction. Somebody said, well, Kyle Pitts for 97 and a touchdown. And he goes for
You're upset,
15.
Balaam.
Well,
You're upset.
I'm upset.
Kyle Pitts on this podcast is like Clyde Edwards-Helaire in my fantasy. He just
No.
I can't think of anything
No,
else.
he's not.
I can't think
He's
of-
not at all.
He derails fantasy
sucks.
championships.
Put him on the level with Zach Wilson. You can do that.
All right, Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts.
Which Zach Wilson
We know.
only went 2 picks.
Write
higher.
his fucking name down in that book.
Kyle Pitts is
Kyle
on the
Pitts.
blacklist for Brian Roberts.
All right, Kyle Pitts wins the biggest bust award of the 2022 fantasy football season. All right, so now switching gears again, we have the best pickup of the 2022 season.
Tacoma.
I've already got one. I'll throw out there: Jamal Williams.
Was Jamal Williams
Not
he was
drafted.
undrafted?
Not drafted.
He wasn't going to be drafted.
Austin Eckler undrafted 2017 draft.
Jamal Williams. I'll tell you what he finished with.
Did he still lead the league in touchdowns? Rushing touchdowns?
I don't know right now.
No,
All I'm doing is
I
doing.
don't
All
know
right.
about rushing touchdowns. I don't know.
So
Eckler's
Jamal
got
Williams,
13.
he's gonna if he gets 6 yards this week, he eclipses 1,000 yards rushing.
Jamal Williams.
He has 15 rushing
I'm with him on
touchdowns.
that. Yep.
I thought he got drafted, so that's why
I'll tell you where he is in terms of running backs.
It was Jameson Williams. Okay, I knew a Williams for the Lions got drafted, but it was Jameson Williams by Michael.
4 running backs on the year. He is. Let's see. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Running back 12.
Okay, now when we say best pickup of the year, does that include players that were drafted and then dropped in other by other people and then picked them up?
No.
Okay, all right. So it's just undrafted.
Undrafted guys.
Okay.
get picked up.
He's
It's far and away, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see another.
It's like, I mean,
clear
you're just
answer.
looking at. He's the only one in the top 25 was undrafted.
And he was a difference maker.
Yeah.
Serious difference maker. Yeah.
So Jamal Williams gets that unanimously?
Yep.
All right, so the the best pickup of the 2022 fantasy football season goes to Jamal Williams. Okay. Now here's a fun one.
Hold on to your seats, fellas.
Here's
This is
the
a good one.
best draft value. So you gotta go back to your draft
We're
board,
going to go
gentlemen.
back to the draft. I
I've
really
already
wish
nominated mine, and it is.
we need to be able to
my
put
pick.
a draft board on a computer so we can have it and look at this stuff, because now we just got a guy with a football helmet.
Okay, well, we got listeners.
Yeah, we got.
All right, so Jake, you're nominating
Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett went in.
Went to Kansas State.
Went to Kansas State. We learned that earlier in the podcast, or
Right.
pre-podcast. Tyler Lockett went in the seventh pick of the 11th round.
Yes, and he finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14th receiver on the year.
Okay.
What round was Jacobs drafted?
Josh Jacobs was drafted in
If it wasn't the top two
The
rounds, he's there.
6th.
the 5th pick of the 6th round.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, that was.
Now I've got two. I don't think they are, but the first pick of the last round was Christian Watson.
Oh,
My
he
brothers.
came on. He
Came on
high.
strong late.
Yep.
Second to last pick of the 14th round. So second to last round was Tyler Algier,
Who came on strong?
who
at
came
the
on
end.
strong late. But I don't think those are the answer. But I think it's
I think it's
Josh.
I think it's
Jacobs.
Josh.
I think it's
It's
Josh Jacobs.
Jacobs. Just he
Yeah.
finished second in flex position.
I will throw out Tony Pollard, 5th pick of the 9th
Yeah, that was the
round,
other one.
finished as running back 7.
Kenneth Walker was the second pick of the 12th round.
Yeah.
Jacobs.
Yeah, it's Jacobs.
Yeah, it's Josh
It's
Jacobs.
If
It's
Jacobs didn't go in the first round, he's a value.
Yeah, agreed. You're getting a top
It-
2
it-
running
He'll be on
back
the
in
new
the 6th
football team
round.
next year.
I mean,
too.
he might be a. He
I
should
hope
be.
he
He will.
I hope he
But
is.
they don't have
They
the
can't-
money
they
unless
can't
they
afford
get
to
rid of
re-sign
Carr.
him.
They have to get rid of Carr to re-sign him.
Which I think they're going to that too.
Well, who's going to take him? I know you're going to say like
Carolina.
Panthers.
No,
but I know-
Carolina, Indy, possibly the Jets.
See, I'm telling you, I think
That's
those
all right.
owners are so sick of that repeat.
But he might,
failures.
I definitely
think
consider
they are.
Jets.
I really
he might get
don't.
cut.
Yeah. Well, they said it was so much dead cap. Like,
I think it's something like if you cut him, it's before June something. I don't know what the thing is. There's like a thing where you can get
that
out
hurt?
some cap.
Oh.
Because if you trade him, you still get that cap.
well, I mean,
But if you're saying you don't,
it all depends on if they can make the
Brian
salaries.
Roberts.
which I don't think the
Or
salary cap's a
who
real thing as many times.
Josh
as
McDaniels wants to go get. Because I think that's something else for them to consider if he's wanting to make a quarterback move and has to have the
Does he
cap
go
room
up?
to
Does he
do
go
it.
get Jimmy G? I don't know. But I just hope Josh Jacobs is not in that division next year. That's just the hope.
Because his charges.
Because your Chargers next.
Patrick Mahomes is still going to be at Kansas City.
Oh, the ceiling for the Chargers is second place in that division until either Andy Reid retires or Patrick Mahomes goes and play baseball, which I don't think is going to happen.
What's next on the list?
Next on the
I asked
list.
that question already. And he didn't answer.
Next on the list. Okay, so this is pretty wide encompassing. The biggest surprise of the 2022 season.
Oh,
So this
I was
could
about to say,
be
it was a big surprise. Brian wearing that football jersey when I walked in the kitchen last year. That was
this could be a
That's
team.
It was last
This
year.
could be
That's what I said.
this could be a fantasy team. This could be an NFL team. This could be a player. This could be a drop. This could be a trade. This could be many different things.
Canceling a football game and not making it up.
why'd they do that?
I'm not. I've done enough. I'm pulling for the young man.
Which one?
You really.
Both of them.
Okay.
Because T. Higgins, I mean, they
Yeah.
said he's struggling
You
with it.
didn't do it.
I have. TDs.
You cut more than 10. I just like only click the button for 10. Yeah.
You went one time.
All right. So biggest surprise. Are you going that for your biggest surprise? I mean, that is a big surprise. I mean, I will say that.
For me, I don't think it's the biggest surprise, but the fact that the Browns' offense was better with Jacoby Brissett than
It's a
Bill
surprise.
Cosby.
Are we going after Bill Crosby already?
Not
Bill
Bill Cosby. Also, Aaron Rodgers should be up there.
Well, they still got a shot at the playoffs.
They
too.
do.
And
I think
he's come
division
on the
surprises
second.
is what I want to point out.
Which one?
Division surprises.
Well, you're not talking about the NFC South.
Well, yes, I am. I think the Bucks not running away with it and being.
The fact they're going to win the division.
If you go back and look at
And
season
then,
predictions where I said
daggone-
Brady was going to fall off a cliff, I think
You had 4 teams competing for a playoff position last week from one
He never
division.
does.
I mean, Jets, Dolphins, Pats, and Bills.
The Giants are another team.
The biggest surprise is Russell Wilson being one of the worst.
Talk about
I got another one for you.
Yep.
I got another one for you.
Yep.
Geno Smith being the QB5
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah, that's another.
I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. You're not going to get a definite answer on this, a definitive answer.
Did Geno Smith, did they give up too soon on him with the Jets? I mean, I know
No.
he's bounced around as a backup quarterback for
He's-
like last
yeah,
5
he's
years.
not.
Los
he's-
Angeles gave up on him too quick, if you ask me.
The damn Giants making the playoffs.
Brian Daboll, man.
That dude.
I am Dayball.
Because they
I'm
ain't got
all in
any
the boat.
receivers.
And you know who his quarterback is? That's one of your boss.
Daniel
Yeah,
Jones
I'm a
has
ball.
been trash for years.
Their offense was horrific last year, but their defense was really pretty strong last year. Like they were pretty fantasy relevant at the end of last year because of because of their defense. They got a running back healthy and an offensive line that was productive, and that's helped them in a lot of regards this year. Like
Past couple drafts, they drafted Evan Neal, the tackle out of Alabama. They drafted Andrew Thomas, the tackle out of Georgia. Daniel
knows those
Jones
guys.
actually runs the ball. Yeah, JT knows who they are.
I don't know.
And then Saquon being healthy, which you drafted number 2 overall out of Penn State. I mean, that team has been put together. They just needed a coach with a vision and allowing Daniel Jones not to have to throw the ball a ton, but hand the ball off, run it himself. That's a good team.
Another surprise for you. Rams.
All
Those guys.
Crash and burn after winning the Super Bowl.
They lost a left tackle. Guard went to the Panthers. Cooper Kupp goes down. Stafford goes down. Cam Akers got kicked off the team.
Never
for
got
ball
up.
back.
What a crazy situation!
I don't know what
They
happened
cut
there.
the guy who was never benched,
Yeah.
and then they brought the guy who was like kicked out of the facilities back to.
Kick him off the tour, Doug.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know.
I don't know what was happening there. And then Baker Mayfield goes there and hangs 51 on somebody.
That might be the biggest.
Yeah, I mean Baker. Like that's pretty interesting to even bring up.
I don't think, and when you look at the whole,
It's Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
They
Russell
gave up
Wilson.
3 first rounders, correct?
They gave up 3 first rounders, Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and a defensive tackle.
no Fant
Russell Wilson got selected in our draft. The second
He
pick,
went late, though.
second pick of the 11th. I'm just throwing that out there for information for our listeners.
Yeah.
No, it was
That
Tyler.
was Tyler.
It was Tyler.
And you and Tyler traded, I think,
That.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
What a dumbass.
Yeah,
Yes.
Says here. Yeah. Okay. You're right.
Yeah.
I was reading it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we talked about that, I mean, I did, obviously, that the AFC West was going to be a murderer's row, but then I said one of the Broncos or Raiders was going to fall off and wasn't going to be good. I just didn't know which one. They both were terrible.
They held hands.
Yes.
All right. So.
Like gay boys.
All right, so what are we going with? Russell Wilson.
Russ Wilson was me. I don't know what.
I know, but you said they gave up 3 first-round draft picks for him.
I'm trying to think on the positive.
And I think the
Dude,
Seahawks-
I think mine's Geno.
The
I like
Seahawks,
that Geno-
Never
well, the
saw him.
Seahawks are getting a top 5 pick from the Broncos,
Yeah.
and they're
They're the
Those
winners
two
in
are
this
tied
situation.
Well,
Yeah,
how
they
about
take-
we make a marriage out of this
Yeah,
and
but
go
do they take-
Seattle?
The only thing
And
with
Denver
Geno
being-
is
that's
Polar
that
opposites
Seattle
of what they
Denver
do.
trade.
Okay.
that can we just
There's
make
no
that?
downside for Seattle,
No.
and it's all upside for no. It's,
All upside for Seattle.
And it all
It's all
downside.
downside.
All right, so-
You know what I think
And his
is
contract's
absolutely
terrible.
crazy about all this?
What's
Is that
absolutely crazy?
They got a top 5 pick from Denver.
Yes.
And that Geno had this great season, but they might let him walk and draft a quarterback
Yeah.
with the pick from Denver
Yep.
to replace Geno.
Absolutely insane.
Well, I
Absolutely
mean, we
insane.
just talked about him being the biggest surprise, and now they're going to let him walk.
So is the Seattle Denver? Is that what we're
Set,
doing? Yeah. I mean,
the outcome of the Seattle-Denver quarterback
the fallout.
fallout of
Mission
the
Impossible.
All right, yeah, okay. So
Great movie.
fall
Fantastic movie.
out of Seattle-Denver. Okay, yeah. You
Just say Seattle Denver trade.
Seattle-Denver trade. All right, now we move on to our very last superlative of the 2022 fantasy football season. We have our 2022 fantasy football manager of the year.
Jordan.
Okay, so you're throwing Jordan's name out there.
All right.
I think Jordan, from a draft standpoint, I think after he had selected his team, he didn't have to do a lot during the season. So
Didn't he do more drop ads than anybody else, but didn't really. It started
I mean,
really
he
didn't
did.
really.
who contributed from his drop ads? That's what I'm saying. Like his team was built on his draft
Commanders.
performance, correct?
Yeah. He was the best drafter. I mean,
I think
I
for
give
the
you
most
that.
part,
no
me and
doubt.
Jordan, we played the players we drafted more than anybody else.
So who do you think? So from that standpoint, it's Jordan. So who do you think outside of those guys did the best with like having to
in-season management?
Yes.
I will say
Andrew
this,
Ramsdale.
finished 4-10.
Yeah, but look at the shit he went through.
Like what?
Look at his team. Look at his team, how it started and what he lost throughout the year.
All right, let's look at it. So I'll go back to
So he finished with Christian McCaffrey, who finished top 5 in flex.
So let's see.
Let's go. Dude, Rams, Diddy Bo.
Aaron Rodgers, who he drafted.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. He lost Kyler. With 4 weeks left to play, something like that.
Yeah, he had struggled with Debo a little bit.
Yeah, Debo got hurt like right before the playoffs started.
Debo got hurt.
Marquise
Hollywood
Brown was
got
hurt for a while. Juju was healthy. McCaffrey
But
played
James
very
Conner
well.
was a pretty solid one for him.
James Conner missed a couple games. Isaiah Likely was his tight end at the beginning of the year. Then he picked up Taysom Hill. Then he dropped Taysom Hill. And Devontae Smith was his flex in week 1.
His wide receiver one was Debo and then Juju, right? Going into the season.
Yeah, I mean, he lost J.K. Dobbins for a time period and then dropped him. But I mean, other than that, he kept a lot of his.
The other one you could throw out there is Michael.
All right, I'm going to go with moves, drop ads.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Andrew had the most with 47. Ryan second, 45. Jordan third with 44.
Keep going.
Then you got JT with 37 and Michael with 37. Then you had Jake with 36. Scorp had 33. And then
Tyler
and
Broach had 32.
32.
And then Victim
of the system,
So,
27 moves.
That didn't make a lot.
Yeah, he didn't.
You're usually the waiver wire king.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to make a lot of moves if you hit on
So
first.
go back and look at the draft board and see who you think has the least amount from draft night to final. Like that was their final team that they were putting out there to try to compete.
I might have the most, so I'll be on the opposite side of that.
I lost Cooper Kupp.
So like even Tyler kind of, but I mean he had Etienne, Lamb, Jefferson,
Lost Kyle
Aaron
Pitts.
Jones,
Lost Michael Thomas.
Like his team's pretty intact.
Lost Jalen Hurts. Damn it, dude. I'm 7 rounds in. I've lost 4 players.
Yeah.
Then pretty good.
Not too good.
Traded IU. That's
But he didn't finish on your team.
right. Yeah. I lost four out of my top 7 rounds. I mean, I'll say that. I'm not saying
Brian,
I've
you
been fancy
did,
man.
you
of
did
the
a
year.
lot of moves as well because you traded Fournette and Kamara, your second and third round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Williams was hurt for a while. You had to deal with that. Brandon Cook's situation
still dealing with
was
that.
kind of bad. Damian Harris got injured, then replaced.
Scorp traded his first pick of the 2nd round and his first pick of the 4th round. Najee Harris and T. Higgins.
Yes. So
He also traded somebody else.
He also traded
The last pick of the 7th round.
So yeah, Scorp's team's probably going to be up there for me because I look at even Dalvin sucking down the line. He still was able to win. I shouldn't say sucking, but he had 5. I think he had 2 single-digit performances in the playoffs. Right?
Yeah,
Playoff performances were terrible.
And then he traded Najee, who was 2nd round pick. Mike Evans won him a fantasy championship maybe with his performance. T. Higgins traded. Which Johnson's that? Deontay Johnson, who did not have a very good year from where he might have been drafted. I mean, he didn't score, right?
No.
Touchdown.
0 touchdowns.
Patrick Mahomes was great. CEH.
Traded.
Thielen, London.
Traded.
Tony.
He
Henderson
turned-
Jr. got cut.
He turned
Dawson
Clyde
Knox.
Edwards-Helaire and Drake London into George Kittle, Cordero Patterson, and
Drake London.
So
He also, I'll say this: the trade.
If
that
he gets
and I-
manager of the year, can I get co-manager of the
No,
year?
the
Like
trade.
general manager?
The trade he and I made was. See if I can remember on top of my
you got
head.
T. Higgins.
It was Brandon Ayuk, Jamal Williams, and Alexander Madison for T. Higgins. Thank you. And T. Higgins and
Running back.
Why can't I remember?
Because you stupid.
Yeah, I am.
I don't know.
T. Higgins and Khalil Herbert.
Khalil Herbert.
So, and I lost, and Khalil Herbert went down for like 4 weeks.
That was a handcuff for a handcuff.
And then T. Higgins
And then
for Brandon
T. Higgins
Ayuk.
for Ayuk and Jamal Williams.
Yeah, which, again, both of them played really good down the stretch.
Yeah.
So
he won
Scorp
that.
and me had the least amount from draft night on our final roster.
Okay.
So he had 4 left, which was Dalvin Cook, Mike Evans, Johnson, and then Drake London, who came back to him.
Yeah.
And then I only had 3 people that I drafted on my team at the end of the year.
And-
Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, and Keenan Allen. Everyone else was either traded, hurt, or
1, 2, 3, 4,
horrible.
5, 6, 7, 8. At 8.
So
Okay.
I'm looking from it. I'm just
Because
no,
that's the
I'm
easiest
just-
one for me to
I know,
pick.
that's what I'm saying. So, like,
Yeah, it's
you know,
impossible.
Jordan from the draft standpoint, I think he won it. But then you look at Scorp and his ability to go from
Make some moves.
Yeah, I mean, he kept 4 dudes. He
Had-
made enough moves to end up winning.
Second least amount of points, but got the guys that got hot down the stretch.
So high right now.
All right. Yeah, I'll go Scorp.
I'll go Scorp as well.
It's hard for me to not say Jordan because of the amount of points he beat you by a lot in points too, right?
He wasn't second in points.
JT was second in points.
He beat me by
I was
40
third in
something
points.
points.
He only beat you by 40.
I think he beat me by like 120 or 130, something
I mean,
like that.
he beat Scorp by how much in fantasy points?
Almost 400. 380.
Dude,
Right.
Jordan had a dominant
And
regular
again,
season.
I'm not saying Scorp doesn't deserve it because he won the championship and he made the moves to get himself into the playoffs. He finished 5th in the regular season and won through it. But Jordan's team, like, consistently throughout the league.
I said it
was the
earlier.
best
Jordan
team.
did everything but win $500.
So
And if Joe Burrow goes for 76 points
We'll
and
never
James
know.
Cook doesn't play,
We'll never know.
I'm just
You
gonna
shouldn't
vote
have drafted a
Jordan
quarterback
for
that
the
doesn't play as many
purposes
games as
of
everybody else.
that.
okay, so we got 2
But I-
Scorp, 2 Jordan.
Yep. Did you go Jordan?
Yeah.
So do we do the tiebreaker of who won
Co-manager.
their head-to-head?
That feels weird because
Co-managers of the
Yeah.
year.
That's like Broach and Aaron.
So how do we settle this tie, Mr. Robertson?
I don't know. I'm not the commissioner.
How do we settle this
I'm
tie?
banned from that title.
Thank God.
I mean,
Commissioner.
It's on you.
okay.
I guess because he won the fantasy championship.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the tiebreaker. I mean, me personally, he also has the longest winning streak, which obviously you're going to have that if you win the championship.
Not necessarily. You could lose the last game of the regular season and win just 3 matchups.
I mean, I guess.
What was it? So he had the longest streak of the season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Who?
Scorp, right?
Did he?
I don't know.
Let's check the record book.
It's.
This actually might be a pretty good thing just to kind of look at. So the
You're
record
going to
book
record
for
book?
this year, he did have the longest streak. He had a 7-game winning streak. Let me look. I want to look one more thing before we.
I want to look at all-time win streak. That's huge, right?
No, that's actually Jordan.
Is it?
Yeah.
13 wins.
Yeah.
Good.
This
They
season.
just all happened in the They just all happened in the regular season. Let's see. I do want to check one thing real quick, and that is to see just kind of how Scorp's schedule played out. So if I go to Scorp,
Well, this says longest streak, current streak Scorp at 7, longest streak Fantasy Phenoms at 8. From what I'm seeing.
when I look at, oh yeah, it does say current streak. So you did win 8 straight. So good job, Ryan.
It gets you first place in the regular season, and that doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't mean a thing. All right, so man, I wish there was a better way to look at this. So okay, yeah, I ain't really got much because I got to go through every single matchup, and I can't do that.
Right.
But he won 7 straight. He only had 8 wins during the regular season, but again, they kind of came at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Came into the playoffs hot, and then again won.
So
his
hot
last
right
4.
now.
So yeah. Tiebreaker, he won the championship. I think it has to go to Scorp. So congratulations to the Scorpion
Well done, sir.
King,
Well done, sir.
Fantasy Manager of the Year.
All right.
All right, and so lastly, gentlemen, we just gotta kind of wrap things up. It's a little season recap. How you feel sitting here right now?
Disappointed.
Disappointed. Oh, you're the number 1 seed. I mean, yeah, you haven't Yeah, I mean, you have
I've
a right
lost-
to be disappointed.
I've lost to the lower seed that gets hot going into the playoffs 2 years in a row in the semifinals.
It's never going to be number 1 seed going to the
It's
playoffs.
never.
It really isn't. Number 1 seed's almost a curse in this
The
league.
most stressful I have, it was round 1,
Uh-huh.
the 1-8 matchup for me going against Ransdale where it came down to that Monday night game. I was worried.
I would have kicked back Jackson. Saw you.
Yeah, it's...
It's him all night.
Doing calculation in his head.
Yeah, that was rough, but it has happened too many times in the past in this league to feel comfortable in that 1-8 matchup.
Yeah, dude, you can't ever feel comfortable in that 1-8 matchup.
Whoever does, really.
I mean, dude, it's happened so many times.
They're not thinking clearly.
I think I've lost it twice,
You've lost a lot more than that.
but I got help.
You did.
If anybody else needs help.
Some other
Okay.
so one thing that kind of stuck out to me kind of throughout the season was how many points against Tyler had. Because again, he had a pretty good squad. Like you look back at his team, especially like draft board.
Tyler had
He had a pretty solid squad. That was one of the teams that we talked about that if he made the playoffs, like
Could be scary.
could be scary. He had 1869 scored against him. Jordan had 1906 points for.
We talked about it.
Yeah, if whoever played Tyler.
If Tyler's opponent was a team in our league,
He
he
finished
finished
second
second
in
in points.
which is absolutely ridiculous.
Tyler needs to talk to Jordan and play better fantasy defense.
Yes. That's insane that Jordan, year in, year out, has...
Which I did that
Just the
this
best
year.
fantasy.
I had the least amount points against. By a decent amount, I feel like.
By like 40
30 or
something.
40, yeah. Question for JT.
Oh, okay.
Do you wish you had more fab later in the season? Was Garrett Wilson worth it? Did he work it?
I think, all right, okay. I think Garrett Wilson
That's
ended
not
up playing.
exactly what she said, but it was close.
I guess he's asking like if you knew that you didn't get him, but you had money and could have spent it on
Know what
other
you know
pickups
now.
throughout.
Know
You
what
put
I
up
know now, but I
$100.
put all 100 on him. I mean,
It's the quarterback situation.
it is the quarterback situation. It's not him. I think he is a very talented player.
He's like what's that tight end for that guy? Well,
It's Kyle Pitts!
Kyle Pitts. Same situation.
What did Garrett Wilson
I'm
finish
keeping my
on?
mouth shut.
I know, but it's
So Garrett Wilson
you losing
finished,
Cooper Kupp. What a couple? What like 5-6 weeks after that? I don't know how. I don't know when Cooper Kupp got hurt, but
Cooper Kupp went down.
if I lose my first round draft pick, I would want to
We
have.
got-
I would
I
want
told
to have
you,
some
when we were
fab.
going into the podcast we did before the playoffs, I said if he had Cooper Kupp, he'd be my favorite to win.
Sure, mine too.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp and Jalen Hurts on the same. Yeah.
Yeah, losing those really hurt my
And
chances.
Tyreek.
It's interesting that you bring up Cooper Kupp. He finished one spot ahead of Garrett Wilson with 6 less games.
Yes.
Cooper Kupp, I mean, he was on pace to have the second best fantasy season from a receiver,
With
only behind
with
himself.
the way Baker
Right.
Mayfield was playing there down the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I regret dropping $100 on Garrett Wilson? Yeah, I guess a little bit. I mean, he still ended up, he had 74 receptions, 114 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns. Wish he'd scored more, but again, I think he's more of a victim of the quarterback play. But, I mean, yeah, I still want it. I mean, I am a big believer in if you want a guy, you need to spend to go get him.
Yes.
All of it.
Thought it was a bold move.
Oh, it was bold. It was
Yeah,
bold.
made it to the semifinals with it, so I can't be too mad. Again, Cooper Kupp,
All right.
Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt. I
How
think.
mad would you have been if somebody else put $100 on them, but they were higher on the waiver order, and you put $100 on them and still didn't get them?
Would I have been mad? Yeah.
No.
That was just a random thought that I had. Is like, was Garrett Wilson worth $100?
No, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't think it wasn't worth $100, but if he finishes like top 15 wide receiver, then I say yeah, probably.
So you get a redo where you put it down.
What am I doing?
You get a redo on it. How much money you putting down?
Because I think Scorp put 80 something.
86.
Yeah, put one more than Scorp and get him, and then have like $13.
Okay.
Because again, he's still.
And then you spend $13 on somebody the next week. You have money.
I probably would have done the exact that sort of thing.
Because I think that's what Scorp did in the playoffs was he had some money that Jordan didn't have because Jordan was out, so he spent like $1 on a couple different people just to guarantee that he got them.
It's nice having a little bit of fab here and there.
I like always
Fab all
want
the
to have.
time.
Yeah, I always want to have
Sometimes in the
5 or 10.
morning, sometimes at night.
I want to ask you guys a question. Roundtable discussion.
Okay.
Are there anything from this season that could potentially be brought up in our meeting preseason next year that you'd want to see changed?
Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is undraftable.
Well, that's really only affects
What
you.
happens
guy
if
had
a
a-
situation like this
there
arises
is a
again with
guy
that team
ahead
out?
of-
Like
Okay.
an injury
Freddie?
cancels a game. Do we take their projection? Do we substitute a bench? What will we do in that?
That needs to be something that gets discussed. Never happened.
We
before.
do have to. Not that it's ever going to happen again. We have to come up with a plan if what happened this past week happens again.
That's what he
He
said.
just said.
Oh.
It was re-emphasizing how important.
Do you
that
think
is.
Do you think getting rid of tight ends, that discussion comes back up?
Yes, and it
No,
should.
it can't.
It should.
That
I hate
other
bringing
I'm
league,
going to go ahead and tell you. I'm going to go ahead and tell
It
you.
sucks.
you
Yeah,
weren't in
I'd
that
hate
other league that we did.
You would
I
hate
It is a
understand.
train wreck.
Yeah, I will not vote for it anymore. I hate it.
My
The
vote-
waiver
my
wire
vote
is
switches.
only tight ends.
Yeah, and
That's it.
Yeah.
There is no wide
And
receivers.
there's
to pick
no
up.
wide receivers.
the waiver wire is so dry. How dry is it?
That only tight ends are drinking in that pool.
I mean, really, it really is.
Yeah. I thought I'd be a fan of it, and I am not.
What about Superflex?
No.
No.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Superflex.
I like it because it doesn't allow for like streaming quarterbacks as much.
Uh-huh. Yeah, 'cause they're
you're
rostered.
because you're gonna keep 3 on your roster
Yeah.
because of bye weeks, and then also like
30 out of the 32 starters are drafted.
for sure
What about full point PPR?
they're already such a score dominant position. Like
Wide receivers would go out of control if we did full point PPR.
I feel like running backs, like you wouldn't see some running backs go until like 3rd or 4th round.
What about standard scoring?
No,
I don't want to go back.
I don't want to ever go back to standard score.
Man, this league
Okay.
just got it, man. This
I
league
know.
just got it.
No.
When
That's
we
why
get-
I'm throwing stuff out.
when we get it right.
Getting rid of defenses?
Getting rid of defenses, that came up.
No, never.
No,
JT
that
had negative
didn't just
points.
come up. That got vetoed and out, and then Brian switched his vote because he's a flip flopper that doesn't wear flip flops.
I didn't think it would pass.
I know you didn't.
And then you immediately,
Oh,
no, no, no,
Oh,
no,
wait a
no,
minute. Hang on just a second.
Joe, what do you think?
Who the fuck's Joe?
Your best friend that we talked to
Your
outside
breast
the restaurant.
I do not have a titty for. Well, I do have titty.
You do have them.
I do.
But he was the guy.
Well, we don't talk about them.
He was the guy that had the dirt bike team that we talked to outside the Cracker Barrel for like an hour and a half.
That guy.
Your buddy.
That was 2 years ago
That
we
was-
did the vote.
It was 2 years ago we did the vote. That was
Yeah,
last year.
this,
Yeah, we're getting 2 years mixed up. Cracker Barrel.
Am I
Best
right?
place for a fantasy football meet.
while you can't say anything about it, let's go ahead and vote on where we're going to have the draft at next year.
Rams ditties.
Ramsey's.
Yeah.
And it's settled. Done and done.
Where are we going to have the meeting at?
I thought it was going
Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
What about the beach? Is that just?
What year's next year?
18,
2023.
17, 17,
Gotta wait
18.
until like the 20.
Let's see. We can figure this up right now, but we always struggle with this.
2007.
3, 3, 3. That's 9.
Yes.
2, 2, 2. That's 15.
16. So
16,
year
this will be year
17.
Coming up? 20.
It's gonna be a while.
Yes.
It's 30 years. Trump be back in office, things will be better. We'll be able to afford shit.
How many years do you think we'll make it?
Trump?
No, like
Or our
league. Our league. Do we make it 50 years?
Honestly, it falls on the original 5.
But it's one of those things where, like, because we do the draft live, but we do the everything online, we could just do an online draft. Where everybody
What takes away from it?
but if everybody moved
I would
away,
live in
Who
Alaska
this
and
man?
I would fly back for the draft.
I wish you
I
would.
Jake, you don't like
Fly back to the draft.
You don't like cold weather. You would move to Alaska.
I would move to the beach.
But, I mean, all right, so, we lost Reitmeyer.
Yeah.
How long do we have Reitmeyer?
3 years?
Too
Yeah, it
long.
wasn't that
4
not
years?
long
3
enough.
years? 4 years? 3 years?
Yeah. And I don't think, Tyler's happy.
No,
Well, he finished
he-
ninth.
I'm
They
not
didn't make the
he's
playoffs.
happy being in the league.
Yeah, he liked.
He realized he's not as good as he thought he was. But
Sick burn, bro.
Take that.
Broach, I don't think is going anywhere.
Broach, I feel like Broach got a little bit of chip on his shoulder, man. I think Broach,
He's the line forever.
he is the line forever! I think he wants it, man.
Yeah, we always talk about how Jordan is good, but Broach usually fields a good roster, but
Yeah.
he never wins in the
Broach
playoffs.
usually has he's in like the top 3 drafts. He drafts very well.
Yeah, he does.
Now, how much is it Broach? How much is it Aaron?
We'll never know.
That's true.
Unless
You a zombie.
Aaron's behind.
You a zombie.
Man, you should be teaching classes. You stay dropping that. But
But
yeah,
no, Broach isn't going anywhere. Michael's not going anywhere. There's no reason for any of us to stop playing fantasy.
No.
Like of this group, because we all see each other anyway.
yeah.
So if we just stopped doing it, I think we would make it like a year or 2 hiatus. We say, you know what, let's do it again.
What would we talk about?
We would make lists.
We wouldn't
Man,
make
if
lists.
we had fantasy, if you had him, it'd be shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Man, we should do that again. All right, you want to draft? It's week 18. Who cares? 1 week. It's like daily.
I'll say
We
let's
would do daily.
I think even something fun for us to do is a league-wide draft of fantasy teams. Like you draft players off fantasy or off playoff teams, and you compete in that. I know.
like daily fantasy.
Hold on a second.
No, it's-
Start that over.
I know.
Go.
So there is a Repick'em fantasy league where basically all the teams that make the playoffs, you get to draft players off those teams, and it's a condensed roster. So other than like three,
It's a
wide
fantasy
receivers,
season that
it's
only
two-
spans the NFL playoffs.
Yes, and it's 2 wide receivers, 1 running back, 1 quarterback, 1 tight end.
Do you
something like this.
redraft every week?
No,
No.
that's the
So
interesting
you
part.
gotta
So you
draft
gotta
people you think that are going to advance.
If not, you just lose points as it progresses, or you have a player on
You
the
just
bench
stay
that
the
you could
same.
like plug in.
So you running this?
I've competed in it once. I don't know if I know all the rules. I could look
Did you
into
place?
it. I think I finished 3rd.
Did you get Miss Congeniality?
Yes.
I'm right, you did. Mm-hmm. Nice fella.
Maybe
I
that's
think we
something.
can do it. I don't know if Yahoo does it or where we.
I
do
mean, we
it.
don't even have to put money on it the first time we do it. We can just do it. See
I
what
mean, we
think
put
about
money on other leagues. Nobody pays it, so whatever.
Well,
I won
speaking,
it, so I don't have to.
We don't
speaking
talk
of,
about other leagues.
You
That's
finish
right.
second.
well, speaking of that, real quick, I think our podcast took a step up this year because of the
The
Magic.
Magic Man, the
is.
producer, he freaking
the
killed
producer,
it.
man.
He freaking
And
killed it.
that's the big question. We're doing this next year.
Well, I didn't think it was in question, but now I guess I do.
I mean, we
You
got.
already said we do our first podcast next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I know where my vote is. I'm just want it all out.
I'll say this.
We need to make some upgrades.
Well, okay, upgrades. I think scheduling is always difficult because we all have so much going on.
And
You
we
know
can
what I
figure
mean?
something
Now,
else
question:
out.
Are they going to play high school football on Friday nights next year?
Yes.
Okay, so Friday
Are
nights
you
are out.
coaching?
Yes.
Okay.
Friday nights are out.
Because again, I am playing in some disc golf tournaments on Saturdays throughout. Not every Saturday, but
What you are?
Well,
But
definitely.
we can also start looking into the idea that Brian had put forth about like doing stuff online. Which
OnlyFans?
a lot of
Other online.
yeah, like
Gotcha.
what other podcasts
shit.
do where there's multiple screens even involved, us talking on there, Brian still being able to do it.
Because I
I think
think
that
Yeah,
opens
advertising for
possibilities
me.
of doing it at home on a Wednesday or Tuesday night or something
and you've
like
said that for a while.
We
Yeah.
need that. We
We
need.
do.
We don't need to do away with the fact that it's something about when we're all together in a room doing it. Like that brings a lot more to
the
it.
hijinks and the tomfoolery.
Yeah, sure.
Even if Tom doesn't show up,
Tom never here,
Yeah.
but
Tom never here.
10, 15 minutes. But we need that backup.
I ate that the other day. 15 minutes. Didn't even get a range. It used to be 5-10. Then it was 10-15. This time it was just 15 minutes.
Yeah, you voted for Biden. That's what you get.
I did.
But we got to have that backup plan, and we need to be able to do emergency pods.
Ooh, like reaction pods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No,
Now,
but
if we did do it from a at-home online type thing, we could go multiple podcasts a week.
That's what I think we
in
should get
short
back to.
versions,
shortened versions,
like a 40-minute recap.
Our,
don't- like
our
don't
Saturday
versions.
pod should be, or whatever. We should have one that's a longer pod.
If we did a Saturday one like we've been doing, it would be matchup preview. After everybody's rosters are pretty much set. Well, the other one
And
would be our high
recap
and
and
recap.
Our
bowl
recap should be our
predictions
longer
and stuff
pod.
like that.
You think so?
Recap
I
should
don't
be a
know.
longer
We
pod.
usually go about like I feel like it's pretty split.
It's pretty close to half and half now.
I feel like it could be 45-minute episodes.
But I mean, that's
each.
something we can use. But we're going to go into next year.
you can look into.
Things we think of.
it's definitely something to look into. I also want to throw this out. Mr. Roberts here, hosting 4 podcasts throughout the season. I hadn't missed an episode yet until this year. Stepped in and he filled in absolutely phenomenally. Did a great job.
He was a reluctant hero.
Well-
He didn't want the title, but when he got it,
That's Batman.
he did. Also want to announce perfect attendance. Jake Ruth.
Hey,
Thank you.
hey,
That's at your
and
house.
yeah, we do it at your house. So thank you for
The coffee.
You are the host.
The coffee.
With the most,
Yes,
You are.
but don't boast.
I'm gonna go buy Sam's Club for you.
that's nice.
Yes. Indeed.
Well,
I'm not gonna buy anything. I'm just gonna go
gonna
to
go
Sam's
for you.
Club on your behalf.
Yes. Well done. Well
And
done.
then Michael. I mean, his first year.
Yeah,
on the
first year
podcast.
Mike did good.
Mike did do good.
Mike did good.
Well, good job, Mike.
We do have one more thing.
I wanted to recognize Ryan for all his stuff that
Yeah,
he's been doing
everything
for
he
the
did
pod.
this year.
Like
Dude, you
Ryan
stepped it up,
stepping it up, and then it was kind of a other thing where you had won the other league, so we kind of chipped in and got you a gift, man.
Just a little something.
Is there a dead body in here?
No.
We wouldn't do that.
You
Before
actually
they
have to
killed
open it,
dog.
right?
Oh, it's open.
Something for you to be able to wear on
Please tell me it's a
podcast
Deshaun
days.
Watson jersey.
Oh yeah.
All right, boys, look on the screen. This is what I got.
That's a legit Deshaun Watson t-shirt jersey that you can wear around in pride.
You got to wear that to the draft.
You know what?
Yes!
I'm booking you a massage next week.
Are you doing it?
Maybe.
Are you wearing that to the draft next year?
Depends on how my pride feels.
I was going to say, I'm really proud of this guy.
I'm
really
proud of
I'm really proud of Ryan Robinson. Really proud of him.
You stop it.
Hold on, are you saying? He's so mad about that, but he's trying to be
Now,
polite.
I got Jake a Baker Mayfield shirt for the Browns, and he wasn't on the team like 2 years later.
Yep.
Is Deshaun Watson on the Browns in 2 years?
Well, they got
Let me
paid.
go ahead. Let me just throw something. Knowing what they know or knew and still gave him what they gave him, yeah, he'll be there.
Oh, he wouldn't be on another NFL team. He'd be on like Mean Machine.
Yeah, but they're not going to get rid of him.
Mean machine.
He would be the backup to Adam Sandler's Paul Crewe.
Either way, he's.
But thank you for the shirt, boys. I appreciate you.
Yeah. You going to wear it for the draft?
I'd please wear
Please,
that to the draft.
there would be nothing better.
Which
than that.
draft?
What do you mean, which
The
draft?
draft.
Our
Our
draft.
draft.
Talking
fantasy
about the
draft?
Yes, when you come over, will you please be wearing that shirt?
Are we doing it here or are we doing it at Ransdale's?
Right,
We've already voted.
Yeah, we've already voted.
Well, you said here. But what is here there without the T, you know?
All right,
Say
well,
yes.
I can't commit
Commit.
to it.
You gotta
I can't.
commit, dude.
All right, let's get some commissioners' thoughts. Close out the season.
Yeah, Raj.
Year in, year out.
All right, y'all.
See you later.
That wraps it up for the Fantasy Football 5.
No, go ahead. Seriously.
First off, so thank
Please, for the love of God, finish your sentence.
That's Jake's button. Use that for JT.
All right, so first off, I just want to thank everybody for playing in the league this year. Again, I do believe this is the best fantasy football league that I've ever been a part of. Yeah. I think we provide a couple different things. Not only do we provide camaraderie, camaraderie. We've all been together for a very long time. We all went to high school together, minus Tyler, but Tyler's obviously got a tie-in with us all. Through Jake.
Collusion.
Yeah. We got that going for us. We've got the fact that again, this was year 16. We're going on to year 17 next year.
We've known all each other. We've known Tyler. Basically, Tyler's entire life, and all the rest of us went to high school together. We've known each other since we were in elementary school.
Right.
So that helps.
Yeah. Again, the fact that we're on year 17 starting next year. I don't know any other fantasy football leagues. Where I know people in person that have been playing fantasy football for as long as we have. This is also, I believe, the most competitive year in, year out. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'll give you this example. When I play in another league and I look at the waiver wire, I'm like,
how are they available?
I'm like, how are they available? How am I able to pick up Deebo Samuel? Off the waivers. Last year I was in another league. I was able to pick up A.J. Brown off waivers with 4 weeks to go.
Or you listen to fantasy quote-unquote experts like, oh, this guy's 50% owned. This guy's 50% available. And we look at it, I was like, that dude got drafted in our league. What are we talking about?
Yeah, that draft got picked up 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like Hideki Matsui. That dude had taken the whole outfield.
Seriously, I don't. And then guys that again are on teams that just the guy's not producing. He gets dropped. In another leagues, it's like, oh, you got to hold on to this guy. You got to hold on to this guy. You got to hold on to this guy. And sometimes it doesn't work, but for the most time, when somebody cuts ties, it's for a good reason. So again, I want to thank everybody for playing. I want to say again, I do believe this is the best fantasy football league that any of us have been involved in.
Here, here.
Looking forward to next year.
Here, here.
And how many other fantasy football leagues that's got their own podcast?
Quite a few, but they're.
Do you know them?
They're all getting paid for it.
Yeah, they're all getting paid for it. We're all volunteer only right here. Boom.
But if you'd like to contribute,
that's always
a monetary amount.
Yeah, maybe some sponsorships. Anybody got a business they want promoted? Hey, there we go. Fantasy Football 5.
Dang, I'm right.
All right.
Anybody? No. Nope.
Robertson Plumbing.
Nope.
Oh,
nope.
Red Ryder Roofing. I can do it now.
Hey!
Red Ryder Roofing.
cheer to you. We hope you have a great off season. And
Study up, do some mocks.
Okay.
Never too early.
We'll see you next year.
All right, boys.